Hi, if you've been following along with us as we mapped the two energy lines associated with the Templar ley line here in the Czech Republic, then I have some news for you. We went out to one of the so-called vortexes today and we double-checked our work and we discovered that yes indeed, we had made some mistakes. And so we spent much of the time trying to figure out what was really going on and where these energy lines went. We were successful, and later I will reveal where these energy lines go and how we've filled in the gap between the two bits that we've been mapping so far. I'll also share with you some lessons that we learned as a result of the work that we did today. It only goes to show, however, as Rory Duff has told me on numerous occasions, to check, double check and triple check the work that you do when dowsing these energy lines. So without further ado, let's take a look at where we were today, which is by the three crosses. Here we go. So we went back to U Tri Krizu, the three crosses, and we decided to walk up the avenue of the stations of the cross, 1 to 2, and then up to the top of the hill, 3. Walking up the avenue of the stations of the cross, we realized that we were in an energy line. At first, we thought perhaps it was one of the large energy lines, but it turned out to be a 25 pace wide energy line that literally follows the stations of the cross all the way to the top of the hill. We also checked a couple of points on the big energy lines and discovered that the direction that we'd originally believed to be true was wrong, and this made a huge difference. Here we are at the top of the hill by the stations of the cross, which is sited on a 25 pace line and was once the site of a small chapel and a large pagan oak tree said to be miraculous. We then moved off to the top of the hill where we did in fact find the male line circumventing one side of the stations of the cross and the female line circumventing the other side of the stations of the cross running down the hill. We then decided to do this little round to check what we were finding on the hill, and we returned to the actual spa spring area at the bottom of the hill where we thought that there was a vortex of the two main energy lines. In fact, the female line does touch this spring, and it appears to be much wider than usual there. Potentially, we think it may have a couple of 25 pace lines crossing it. Certainly there is a 25 pace line where that cross is. There's a small gap. Then the female line, but the female line is 140 paces wide, it would seem. The male line, though, remains 20, 30, 40 meters away beyond that cross. And although it comes very close to the female line, it doesn't actually touch it. To be honest, this now makes sense because everywhere we've been, the female line seems to pick up the springs and spas and water. And that is exactly what it does here. It runs down from that spring, down the hillside, and into this pond area, and off across the village beyond. We also spent some time trying to find all of the 25 pace wide lines which all seem to run into this area, and also this rather weird set of 4 15 pace lines very close together that we've now tracked all the entire distance of the Templar line. It's the one marked in green here. So this is what the Templar line looks like now, stretching across the area north of Brno. We will continue to follow it in the coming weeks and months across the Czech Republic. We learned though that you really must double, triple check what you find. Sometimes a little bit of wishful thinking can lead you into a situation where you get it all wrong, and then when you go back you can't make head nor tail of it, and you have to really try to build up the puzzles and build the picture all over again. And that's what happened to us. We learned from this. But the good news is we've finally filled the gap. We've tracked the Templar line across the north of Brno. We've learned a lot of valuable lessons in the process. We now know a lot about these two energy lines in terms of where they like to go. We can talk to the female line using the sticks. The male line refuses to speak to us in the same way. So please, stay tuned. Join us for the next episode as we track the Templar line further across the Czech Republic.